What up? Welcome to another episode of the Brand New News Show. As you know, I'm Brand New. Sorry about that. By the way, I'm trying to get this right. Anyway, I am Brand New, and like always, on all podcast platforms everywhere, Brand New Show. Like always, YouTube channel Brand New Show, and like always on social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Brand New Show. Also Facebook. I keep forgetting I got Facebook. But Facebook too, Brand New Show. On Facebook is the Brand New Show. I don't know why they don't want you to remove the, but it's the on Facebook. So yeah. Anyway, um, welcome to a new podcast series. Well, not series, podcast. I guess I can say podcast series because technically it's still part of my podcast, but it's called Bleed Purple and Gold. And on this particular series, I will be talking about the LSU Tigers. It's one of my favorite college football teams. Um, is my favorite college football team actually. I like Miami. I like Notre Dame. You know, I can tolerate some SEC teams. But LSU is the team, man. Of course, being from New Orleans, I grew up a huge LSU fan. Um, I got the best versions of LSU. I know a lot of people would say the 90s and 80s was fucking horrible, but but 2000s, when Nick Saban was there, to the Les Miles era, to that one good year with Ed Orgeron, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Shit, I've been an LSU fan when Justin Jefferson brother was the quarterback, Jordan Jefferson. Everybody probably forget that shit because it's fucking forgettable. Let's be real. Like Justin might be the best fucking football player out of his family. I know he has his brothers, but he's the best football player because you know why? Because he made it to the fucking league and he's torching the fucking league right now. But yeah, I remember that. Oh my god, I remember him and Zach Mettenberger. Oh my god, that fucking team was. And by the way, that was the team. This is how fucking crazy that is. Jordan Jefferson, who was the quarterback of that team, was Zach Mettenberger and Les Miles, the head coach. You want to know who the fucking two receivers of that team was? Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis motherfucking Landry. Yeah, that was that was their quarterbacks. Was Jordan Jefferson and Zach Mettenberger. They had Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry as the two fucking receivers. By the way, also on that defense was what? No, it wasn't Greg Delpit. It was Tyrann Mathieu. Bro, it was Tyrann Mathieu. It was, I want to say Patrick Queen. I think Patrick Queen maybe came a little later. No, but it was some fucking dog. Patrick Peterson. I know Patrick Peterson was on that defense. Patrick Peterson, bro. It was so much fucking NFL talent on them LSU teams that we could not get over the fucking hump because our fucking quarterback sucked. Them niggas was trash. Them niggas was horrible. Oh my god! I remember the season that we beat. We played Alabama and it was 6-3, and everybody was like, this is the best defensive game ever." No, our fucking quarterback sucked. We could have won that fucking game kind of easily if our quarterbacks didn't suck. They didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, oh my, that was a terrible fucking team. Oh my god, the quarterback sucked. The team wasn't terrible. The quarterback sucked. Them motherfuckers were trash. I think we had uh Darius Geisen. Oh my, we had so many fucking talented people on that fucking team. That was the team with Leonard Fournette, bro. We had so we had Leonard Fournette. We had Darius. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. We had Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis. Yep, and those are the two quarterbacks. Because Les Miles couldn't decide who was the worst or who was at least above good, not average, just like above, just maybe, kind of maybe could just win something in the SEC. You couldn't do it. You couldn't figure it out. I remember that. Oh my god, that year was fucking terrible. That's how long I've been an LSU fan. That's I've been an LSU fan when Jamarcus Russell had y'all fooled that he could be a quarterback in the NFL. I've been an LSU fan when Jamarcus Russell had y'all motherfuckers fooled that he was gonna be a quarterback in the NFL. I could have told y'all that shit from the jump. I could have told y'all, did y'all not see him in Florida when we were undefeated and they went to Florida and he folded like a tent? That nigga gave the fuck up in that game. I was like, yeah, this nigga is not ready. I was like, this nigga is not ready. Oh yeah, I remember that fucking year. Oh my god, I remember that year. I remember that year. I've been a fan of LSU since the 2000 and what? Nah, because Jamarcus Russell took over like 2005 and six. I think our first title run with Marcus Spears and yeah, like that first title run with Nick Saban. I've been LSU. I was an LSU fan even before then. When Derek Henderson caught the touchdown against Kentucky and yeah, yeah, I've been an LSU fan all my life pretty much. Well, this is the show. This is the show I'm gonna be doing this season for them. And I'm gonna talk about what my expectations of this season is. I'm gonna talk about the preseason ranking that they just got. I'm gonna talk about preview the first game of the season, which is us against Florida State, who we played last year. I'm gonna talk about all that. So let's get into it, man. LSU. Um, like I just said, man, being an LSU fan is just as stressful as being a Saints fan, if not more stressful, because you don't have that many games to actually make up ground in the SEC. You lose your first game or you lose two games. It's like, well, fuck it, might as well come sit the fuck down because your season is already over. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Well, last year LSU did that. They lost to Florida State at the beginning of the season, which I still fucking debate. We should have just went for fucking two because the kicker could not make an extra point. No, it's not that he couldn't make an extra point. They couldn't block for him, which is the worst fucking point of all of it. I think we should have went for it on two. If we did, this would be a way different conversation. We got our ass handed to us by Tennessee. We just didn't have a chance in that game. They beat our ass in that game, which goes to show you because Tennessee beat Alabama's ass. So, so let's not make exceptions there. But we had a good run at the end. We beat Alabama and at home in overtime. I still say if we could just stop Bryce Young, we probably would have won the game easily. But hey, Bryce Young went number one for a reason. But we only lost two games last year. The first game and of course that Tennessee game for the season that we had last year. Oh yeah, we lost in the college. We lost in the SEC championship game. Which I mean, when Jalen Carter picks up your goddamn quarterback like he's a kid, there's nothing more you can fucking do about that. I mean, let's be real. There was nothing we could do about that. Anyway, it was a good season for us, man. I mean, let's. That was the best season we could have asked for a new head coach and Brian Kelly, who comes from Notre Dame. For his first year, he did pretty much what he did in Notre Dame for the majority of that time. He found a way to win games and he continued to push the team's narrative. I like Brian Kelly as a head coach. I always did. Even when he was at Cincinnati, I thought he was a really good head coach. Um, what do I think of him coming into this season? His second year, the team should be more well rounded to what he wants to do and what he needs us to do as a team. Um, like I said, this is the SEC. This isn't independent. This isn't just you play against Toledo one week and now you're playing against fucking USC the next. It's like this is not that. You are going to be challenged the entire time. The beautiful thing about this is Brian Kelly. People will always say Brian Kelly could never beat Nick Saban. Well, he beat Nick Saban last year. So let's put that into perspective. I feel like this is the situation that this team is in with a Brian Kelly, man. A lot of high expectations. Of course it is. It's LSU. It's the SEC. It's the SEC West, which is the hardest. SEC conference is hard, but the SEC West division is really been the toughest one because whoever dominates the SEC East is clearly going to the SEC championship game. We know that already. So for the last couple of years, it's been Georgia. Before that, it was Florida. It's kind of obvious. Like whoever the fuck is just the top dog at SEC East, it is what it is. But the SEC West is where it gets the most interesting because we have Alabama, we have LSU, and we have Auburn. We have Arkansas who pops up here and there certain times of the season. Mississippi State, Old Miss. The SEC West is one of those conferences. Texas A&M, who always recruits really well, might not win a lot of games when they finally get in the fucking games, but they are recruiting like a son of a bitch. Add on to the fact that next year we will probably have Texas in the SEC West, which a lot of people say will be the Big 12's winner of their conference this year. So with that being said, LSU with Brian Kelly, LSU has always been a dominant recruiting school. We always have found a way to get into at least the top five, top 10 of recruits every year. And Brian Kelly last year and this year continues to prove right on that. He continues to find people. He continues to bring people into this school, and make things happen. I don't like when he does the rap, tries to like be a part of the TikTok era shit. That is the dumbest shit. It ran a couple of people off because it was like, yeah, I don't want my head coach to be that cool. Like I don't need that. Yeah, I mean, but for the most part, it is what it is, and I think we've done a great job, and I think he's done a great job. He's a hell of a coach. He's always been a hell of a coach. He's coached a couple of good Notre Dame teams to undefeated seasons. So um I'm not too afraid of what he can do. Like I said last year, if you go for it with two, because Florida State defense cannot stop Jaden Daniels for shit. If you went for it on two in that game, you probably win, and we only lose the game, one game the entire season. But I think that loss made us very aware that we can lose. I saw the schedule the last couple of weeks. The schedule that we have is pretty goddamn easy. We could walk through it, to be honest with you. Outside of the Florida State game, and of course we got to go to Alabama. I mean, an Ole Miss game is always a tricky son of a bitch because we play Ole Miss, and it just always is what it is. Arkansas also at the end of the season is always a fucking tricky one. We beat them last year, but now they come to us, and with us having high expectations, that's when they always get us at the end of the year. We have high expectations, and then we play Arkansas, and then just what the fuck? It's just one of those like what the fuck types of feelings. Texas A&M, I'm not always afraid of Texas A&M because ever since they got to the SEC, I'm not pretty sure. I'm not really sure, but they really haven't beaten us like that. We were the only team that really swept Johnny Manziel when he was there. So yeah, we're not really afraid of Texas A&M like that. Um, but yeah, um, we always got a tough game against Florida because it's fucking Florida, and we always, some apparent reason, we just either we step up or we step aside to Florida. I think we play Auburn in LSU this year, so that's a. I know we play Alabama and Alabama, but I know we play. I think we play Auburn and LSU this year. With that being said, that's a very scary game for Auburn because when we play them in Auburn, I don't trust it. When we play them in LSU, we fucking find a trick somewhere in the bag and we just beat them. I don't know how we do it, but we always do. The SEC East, I know we play Florida. I don't know who we play in the SEC East. I think Kentucky this year. So we play Kentucky this year. That's an interesting one, I think, because Kentucky's a very interesting team. Um, but yeah, Brian Kelly as a head coach is pretty good. Um, which goes to JD Daniels. JD Daniels, Jaden Daniels, I should say. Um, Jaden Daniels is a really good quarterback. Came from Arizona State last year. He transferred to LSU. It took him a minute to kind of get his rhythm with us, but once he finally got it, even in that first game, it took him a minute. He kind of was like struggling. Then when he finally got his rhythm, he took over. But Jaden Daniels, I'm looking forward to seeing what he could do. I know a lot of people have him in early Heisman conversations. I don't like that for him. I actually don't like where LSU players are that high up in the Heisman conversation outside of defensive players, because they just don't live up to the hype. Jaden Daniels is he should be really good this season, man. I hope he is. I really, really do. I think he took the job away last year from some really competitive guys. A lot of people thought they would do really great for us, but he stepped up immediately and took the job. And I hope he continues to do that. I hope he is the guy that everybody thinks he is going to be. I'm not going to put that high expectations on him like a Joe Burrow. No. But what I do think is, I think he's going to do what he needs to do to win these games. I don't know where we stand when it's all said and done, but I do know this. I think he's going to show up and show out in a lot of these games, and that's good for us. Um, Speaking of defense, um, Harold, uh, Harold, because I want to mess up your last your last name, Perkins, Harold Perkins, linebacker last year was the guy. He played like I think he was a freshman last year. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this year. I know a lot of teams are going to definitely be keying in on him and trying to stop him, particularly the way he stops the run, the way he could get to the quarterback. I mean, I just said the Arkansas game is always a tricky one. The performance he put on against Arkansas last year saved our season for what it was. He put on a performance at the end of that game, man. I saw when he hit that dude and strip sacked him and took the ball. I was like, oh, this dude's different. Like when he strip sacked dude, I was like, oh, this dude is different. I said, we got another linebacker. Oh, thank you. I was like, we got another linebacker. Oof. So yeah, man. Um, Harold Perkins, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this season. That defense and all in all, one more year, like I said, in that defense, one more year in our what Brian Kelly's vision is for that defense. I'm looking forward to seeing what that defense is really going to be going forward. I hope we do great things, and I hope we continue to push ourselves. Um, Going into this season, man, preseason predictions. Preseason polls came out this last week, and we're ranked fifth. Um, Usually when we're ranked high, I don't like it. I don't like when we're ranked super fucking high because predicted we like right now, a lot of people are saying we're gonna meet Georgia in the SEC championship game. They think we could go to the we could be the final four. We could be in the final four this year. College playoffs. We get a lot of praise this year. I don't like it. I don't like when LSU gets super praised because it's just like once we get super praised, we let down fast, and it's just like I hope we keep the praise up. We're ranked fifth. We're ranked behind only Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Georgia. And my feelings on that is this, man. Do I think Alabama's gonna be good this year? Hard to tell. I don't know. They lost a lot of players, including their main weapon on offense, and that's Bryce Young. I don't know where Alabama's gonna be this year, but I will say this: you can't doubt Nick Saban. You can't put Nick Saban in this idea that he's not gonna rise to the occasion. Like I said, also, we play Alabama in Alabama. That's a scary fucking game. Every time we play Alabama, at any moment in the season, it's a bad matchup because it's fucking Alabama. You don't know who they are. And every year when Alabama's had this questionable quarterback situation, they found a way to beat us. So I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. They were right there fucking high. I wouldn't know about game one when we play Florida State where we're at mentally because that's the real game. If we come out and we stonewall Florida State, we beat the living hell out of them. I don't want to get too hyped for it because I've seen LSU beat teams early, especially the marquee game early, and then they play the next game and then they lose to fucking Troy. Like I've seen this shit with my eyes. Like you beat a team that you're like super hyped for, and then the next week you play another team and then you lose to them. Like the fuck was that? Why did you even? Why? Why? So yeah, ranked fifth. Like I said, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I think we're too high, to be honest with you. I think we're ranked a little bit too fucking high. I get it. Goes over what you did last year, and now what you did in this year was gonna happen this year. But I don't like it. I don't like it one fucking bit. I don't like it. I don't like it one fucking bit. I don't like it. Um, what do I think of the overall team this year? What do I think of this team? A lot of hype. Um, Y'all know how I feel already. Like I said, I don't like when we're hyped super high. I don't like it because it gives me this false sense of we're gonna be great this whole year, and we're never gonna have any failures. It's just like that's not good. Like I said, when you are in a college football atmosphere with short games, you're playing every week, going super hard. It's like I don't know. Like I said, week one is one thing. Week two, I will see where we are at. By week two, we should see who we are. Because by week three and four, that's when we really get into the SEC play, Mississippi State and all these other teams. That's when we really get into it. I know we played Grambling this year. Probably gonna beat the hell out of Grambling this year. Um, but yeah, I think we also played. Yeah, we played Grambling this year. But I hope that what people are saying is true. What's my prediction for LSU? My good prediction is that we do end up in the SEC championship game. We play Georgia and we give them a hell of a game, and we actually beat Georgia. And we get to the number one seed, and we're the number one seed, and everybody has to go come through the LSU Tigers, and we play the fourth seed and beat the hell out of them, and beat the hell out of the two and or the three or whoever they play, and we win a championship. That's my expectations. That's my positive expectations. My real expectations is that we drop a game, and that is the fact that we drop a game. Now I don't know if it's gonna be to Bama or if it's gonna be early in the season to like Ole Miss or some shit, but I don't think we keep this hype up all fucking year. I think we drop a game. I think we need to lose a game to get our heads wrapped around. Oh shit, we could lose. Holy fuck. Okay, here we go. That might be the kick in the ass we need. Now, does it happen at the first game of the season? I don't know. Does it happen against Ole Miss? I don't know. Does it happen against Alabama? I don't know. Do it happen early, late? I don't know. But I do think we're gonna lose. I think we're gonna lose a game this season. I don't want to keep the hype up and then act like we're gonna just run the table because I don't think we have that type of team like we had when we had Joe Burrow and we had Jamar Chase and we had and we had Justin Jefferson and we had Clyde Edwards-Helaire and we had fucking Derek Stingley Jr. who was a fucking rookie, like a freshman that year, and we had what I'm saying, like we had caliber players that just hit at the right time, at the right situation, in the right fucking moment. I think we got a really great head coach. The rest of this team, I'm very skeptical on. I don't fucking know who we are. Outside of Jaden Daniels and outside of Harold Perkins, I don't know what this team is. That's a good thing and it's a bad thing too. But hopefully it's more good than bad. So I do think we end up 11-1. I think we do go to the college playoffs and I do think we actually win this college playoffs this year. I do think we win. I do. I don't think we run the fucking table, but I do think we go into the college playoffs, and I think we win because I think we actually find out who we are later in the season, and I think we take advantage of that, and I think we go far, really fucking fast. And I think we beat Ole Miss. I think we beat Ohio State in the college playoffs for the championship. I don't think Michigan beats Ohio State this year, and I love Michigan. Michigan is one of my favorite college football teams too. But I think it's too much going on around John Harbaugh, and it's a little fucking suspicious. It's a little fucking suspicious, and I don't like that. So as much as I question LSU, I know who the fuck we are. I know who our head coach is. That's the key. I know who our head coach is. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Michigan, and that scares the shit out of me. So I think Ohio State, they might not get them in Michigan, but the college playoffs, I think they get them back. I think they go 2-3, and I think Ohio State beats them in the college playoffs, and I think we meet them in the college playoff championship game, and I think we beat Ohio State. But I do think LSU drops the game. I do think that, and that's my prediction for LSU this year. Speaking of that, Florida State LSU September 3rd is the game. September 4th will be my assessment of the game. I will be talking about the game right after the game. Hopefully, I will be doing my podcast right after the game, and I will be doing the first episode fully of this. But this was just a preview episode, man, of LSU season, man. And like I said, I hope we win. I hope, I hope, I hope. I think we will be in the college four, and I think we will win a championship this year. I do think that because I do think out of all of the teams, we are the one team that I don't think have the most red flags. What I do think is we have the most to prove, and I think we have to figure out who the fuck we are. We got to figure out who the fuck we are early, and that is where I think we get fucked up. So Yeah. LSU though, I do think we raised the college championship this year. I do. Until September 3rd, September 4th, when the episode really actually will be out. LSU, let's go Tigers. Until then, I am Brandon Janu. See y'all when Purple and Gold season episode 2. Florida State LSU. Till then, peace.